Oh, you know what time it is. It is time for the Scandal Sesh with your host, me, Summer Rayne. I have an eye infection and I'm here. Just kidding. With my fabulous co-host.
Hey, it's Perry, your elixir mixer, ready to spill some gossip on my favorite TV show. Wow, what a week this was.
I can't believe it. This is finally the week we were waiting for. All of the queens coming together as one. What are you thinking at this moment in time?
I'm thinking it is time for them to get some competition on. Like, I feel like the heat is on, and also like I'm ready for a little bit of the clash, like the gossip. Like, we're ready to see it, and like it starts off right away. Elliot's like, I'm gonna hide and hear what these girls are saying behind my back.
Oh my God. It was a chance to be like, let me bust out and let me confront you guys. I don't like confrontation. I really am a sweet little innocent girl. Um, but behind closed doors, I might have to do what I have to do. So this could be a time for her to be like, listen, you guys showed your true faces. I'm feeling some type of way.
I think the best way to get into this episode is like, let's start talking about some looks. They gave us great looks this week. The runway's theme was Train for Days. And
But
they all walked the runway with trains. I was reading a comment on one of the RuPaul's Drag Race posts on Facebook, and some users like, I don't understand what trains for days mean. That I didn't see anybody like with railroad tracks. I was like, how do you not know what trains for days is?
but did you not see Tina Burner?
That's
She
true.
had railroad tracks.
The first one to walk in was Denali. What do you think about Denali's look?
Denali, I'm kind of giving you this little Denali look. It's not really much of a mohawk, but Denali, I thought it was creative with this bird. She gave the story of about her, her heritage, and this Mexican bird is queen and all that. And she gave it. She was walking it. The train looked heavy though.
Right. Yeah, she said the Quetzal, I believe, is the deity in the Mesopotamian, or Mesoamerican culture, and it's a beautiful bird. She looked beautiful. Her use of colors, like I loved the consistency though too. It was like the colors in the feathers, the colors in her wig, the mohawk, and then even her eyebrows, like the colors in her eyebrows, like it was just stunning all the way down to like her feet. Like I was so impressed. Like she walked out right away giving us, it was beautiful.
Well, up next we have Olivia Lux. She came out in this. I think that it was one of my favorites. I'm really excited every time that she walks the runway to come out, and she's wearing this Baroque, very Victorian purple and gold with the white mohawk, with the bedazzled harp. She looked so good.
Yeah, her musical themed look, the colors, once again, consistency. She was purple and gold from head to toe. The harp, a great a great little accessory. The gold flakes on her face, it was so beautiful. The only thing I didn't like about Olivia's, and this kind of started the theme, she was the second one to walk out, but her train was a little short. Like when they say train for days, I feel like I'm just expecting a super long train on every single girl. And I mean, she had a train, but it could have been a little bit more exaggerated. But I mean, that's really nitpicking because her outfit was beautiful. She was definitely in my top 3 of the runway. The next one was Elliot, which as you remember from the beginning, I was kind of a not a fan of Elliot, but I'm gonna say she's really starting to impress me. And she walked out in this gorgeous white lace bodysuit with a beautiful long white train. And then this is like what we're talking about when we say train. Like it like billowed behind her.
Days. Yeah.
Days. And I've heard a couple people making fun of Elliot's belts and like her outfits being a little cheap, but it was consistent and it worked this time. I think her look was amazing. Like the white hair, the white accessories. I loved it.
Yeah. She gave me this little like Trinity Taylor little small pompadour wig. And she looked amazing. She really knows how to walk in heels. Some queens like Kim Chi doesn't really know how to walk in heels. Ellie with two T's definitely knows how to walk in heels. She's a performer.
Well,
Oh my
remember at
god.
the beginning when she talked about she was a ballet dancer like Brooklyn Heights, and every time Brooklyn walked the runway, RuPaul was like, every person needs to take ballet because it teaches you posture, it teaches you stance. And I didn't even think about it until you just said this about her walking in the heels. But yeah, like those girls that have that dance background, they know how to walk and they know how to have a great stance or posture.
Kimora Hall was next.
Kamora Hall,
Oh
beautiful.
my god. She looked so good. Three heads are better than one, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, Queen of Dragons, like she put Daenerys to shame. Like those two dragons sitting on her shoulder. I would not want to mess with her.
She was giving me like Kill Bill, Lucy Liu, like come at me right now, Uma Thurman. I will cut you down.
Yeah. And once again, this was a train. It was a long, flowy train.
It was a
But it had the
concept.
theme with the spikes. It was a dragon from all dragon tail all the way to the end. Um, but it was also looked super heavy, which unfortunately we'll talk about later, isn't going to work well for one thing.
I wonder if something could have been done. Like maybe it could have been a jacket or something, and then you could have unzipped it. Something could have been done.
Um, Next up, star of the season so far to me, Simone. I mean, I'm gonna say when she first walked out, I was like, "What's going on here?" Like she's wearing a baby blue jumpsuit, like, and then like it took me a minute. I didn't catch on right away what was happening until she did that first turn. I was like, "Oh my gosh, her train is coming from her do rag."
Mm-hmm. Girl. And it was, I mean, I agree. When she first came out, my initial thought was, it looks a little wrinkly. What's going on? It doesn't really feel like it feels like it's just dragging, like no purpose. But then I saw that it came from the do rag, and that was amazing. Totally embracing that side of that culture, and it's what we need to see on TV. You know, she's definitely the star right now. She's got that star quality, and I'm so excited to see where she's going to go.
So far, every time Simone has hit the runway, she's celebrating herself, but also celebrating where she comes from, her background. Um, Everything that she does tells a story, and it's not a story that she has to explain. Like she gets out there and everybody knows the story. Like, uh, and also like I was saying baby blue earlier, but like baby blue is also a beautiful color and it worked really well. A little pink like trim, and then like the do-rag had a little bit of dark blue mixed in to like set it off so that you could tell it wasn't a part of the outfit, it was separate.
Mm-hmm.
And also that was a long ass train. That was train for days. That went, she was at the front of the runway and her train was still coming out from backstage. Like I love, that's what, when they say train for days, that's what I'm thinking.
You know that small little neck has got to hold a lot. Okay, practice for something. Up next, La La Brie. I like this look, to be completely honest. With the mask, I think it was really cool. Lately, with especially with COVID and the pandemic, I've all my outfits I've been making matching masks with, and it's been one of my favorites. So when she walks out with this little tearaway moment, like she's shedding skin, Lala freaking, I mean, she looks good on the runway, but as we'll talk about later, performing is not really one of her strong suits.
Yeah. I mean, when she walked out, well, first of all, you said masks. The mask was great, but I'm starting to see a trend with her. Like Olivia Lux has the small purses, Tina Burner's Ronald McDonald, Rosé's pink, and Denali's got the masks, which like I love it. I love the theme. Or sorry, Lala. they have a rhyme. One of the things that like if you watch one of our other videos, you'll catch us talking about UK season 2, which is going on right now too. But on this week of UK season 2, Stina Mandela came out wearing this Mortal Kombat outfit, and Lala Ree's outfit totally gave me Mortal Kombat vibe. And I was kind of thinking, I want to see them like battle it out, like who's gonna finish him.
Get over here.
But the snakeskin look, I will agree with you. It was awesome. I also like there was a little reveal. Like it wasn't a huge reveal, but she came out with this big long train cape, and then she drops the cape, but she didn't drop the train because underneath the cape train was like another train, and this one was like a split tail, like also like another, yeah, snake tongue. So I love that there was layers to it. It did look really good on her. I like the color.
Layers. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Come on. Snake on.
She looks great. She did the train for days. She met the theme. Unfortunately, like what you said, we'll talk about later. The rest of the challenge didn't go so smooth for her.
Yes.
Yeah. And next we're gonna talk about one of my favorite kooky queens.
I am starting to fall in love with this girl.
She is so funny, and she gave some great moments in this episode. I don't think anybody's ever made RuPaul laugh as hard as Utica. And then it's also ironic because she was the one that made her laugh that hard. She was paying homage to one of the world's greatest comedians, Carol Burnett, one of the most infamous like sketch scenes in history. Like they talk about it all the time when they're talking about comedy and Carol Burnett. The Gone with the Wind, curtain drapes, beautiful look, and she did it so well. But she didn't just copy it. She did her own take. She used her colors. She made it more fun, and then of course she just sells it with her attitude.
Utica. I mean, can you imagine wearing this curtain rod? I'm trying to imagine this curtain rod in my, like, walking with this curtain rod. I don't know. She's got so much character, and that's what is kind of like offsetting the balance with these girls, is that you're getting some that are super dramatic, you're getting some that are talented, then you're getting some that are like this kooky, like just in between. And that's so special about Utica. And oh my God, she made me laugh so hard when she did this. I mean, I could watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I did watch it over and over again. I rewatched this episode 3 times because there was so much going on. I wanted to make sure I had all that I could possibly have to talk to you about, but then also it was just so much fun to watch. I just wanted to watch it again.
But I think the really part that sold it was that moment in the workroom, because oh my goodness, have you ever smoked weed before?
Have you ever smoked weed before, Summer Rayne?
No, I haven't.
It came out next.
Well, let me just pour a glass of rosé. Okay. She kind of didn't impress me a lot this week. Rosé was just kind of bland. The performance was good, we'll talk about later, but the outfit to me was just a long blue truffle ruffle coat. with a El DeBarge mullet. Ed DeBarge.
Exactly. What's funny is you said mullet, and that's exactly what I thought too. I was like, why is she wearing a white mullet, wearing this lady suit? She said her theme was lady tuxedo, 80s inspired. I was like, is it lady tuxedo, or is this just um the boys from Dumb and Dumber with a longer mullet like hair? Like, I don't know. It was it was okay, but it didn't hit the mark for me. Um, she had to explain, like, because we both said mullet. She had to explain. She's like, it's a mohawk with a train. Like, it that wasn't obvious. She could have done that more exaggerated to like really sell that part of the theme. And then, like Michelle said, like the loofah on her back didn't look like a train either. It just looked like she was wearing a tuxedo, and then she tacked on some extra stuff to it. Was like, was that a last minute thing? I don't know. She's starting to become the loofah queen. Like, maybe that's what she's going for. Like, her theme is pink, but I think she's going to be more known for her loofah looks than anything.
Listen, it was in the middle of a pandemic. Maybe it was on sale. The tool was on sale.
So at least we know she's scrubbing herself clean when she's in the shower. The next one to walk out was also one of my least favorite runways. Gottmik comes out, and did she get the memo? Trains for days? Like, it's almost like
doesn't really read trains to me.
Yeah. It just didn't, like, she brought out this leaf blower, which cool, it was bedazzled, but why would you need a leaf blower to blow your train? Like, it should be billowing behind you, not flying behind you. And I was like, oh, are these wings or are they a train? It was pretty colors and her face looks great. But then looking more into it, I saw on her Instagram that was actually her sheer outfit, because since she was in the other group, she didn't have to do the sheer outfit. So that was going to be her sheer outfit. And when she found out Tina Turner was doing the train conductor look, she scratched her train conductor look. I'm like, girl, you're in a competition. I don't care what Tina's doing. You go do it better. Like, because Tina's look wasn't that good.
Judging by the picture that she put on Instagram, it looked better than Tina's.
Yeah. So I don't get why she went easy. Or I don't know. But that does bring me to a point I wanted to talk about at some point. At one point in the workroom, Candy, Tina, and Gottmik are all chatting about how they're like the shady ladies and they're all best friends. And I was like, are these girls going to be the new Heathers? Is this the new Rolaska Talks? Like,
I mean, when Elliot came over during that moment, Tina was like, thank you, Tim, and did this nasty face. And I was like, I thought the same thing. I was like, this is going to be a very shady little moment.
Yeah.
Candy, as we could see all throughout the episode, and if you saw on Untucked, she is very loud and can talk for a very long time. So let's see what the rest of the season is like when it comes to Candy Muse.
Yeah.
Or that little group, I should say.
Yeah, I wonder what their little group's going to be called. Gottmik, Tina, and Candy. But whatever happens, I hope that they realize that they're, no matter how close the three of them get, they're still competing against each other, because I feel like that was a fatal mistake for Gottmik, and I'm actually really surprised she didn't land in the bottom, or that they didn't even talk about it as much as they did. But
I appreciate for a moment though, because I think it was like trans colors, the blue and the pink. Maybe a moment to celebrate the transness. That's showcasing on RuPaul's Drag Race, but it was not very trained for days.
No.
It was sheer for days with a leaf blower. Like, and I brought my own bedazzled leaf blower. Talking about leaf blower, blowing. Choo choo, Tina Burner comes chug-a-lugging around the corner. Oh my God. I like the camp, but I don't know. Something about it was very like, just reminds me of like kiddie play toys. Very unpolished, not finished, something.
It didn't fit right. The fluffs underneath her arms they didn't like, she was like trying to exaggerate the train. I don't know, but it didn't feel like that was adding to the train
Oh,
look, and it didn't add to any of it. The colors on the train didn't complement the color of the suit well, and it all was kind of a flowy mess. The only thing I did like about it was she took the Train for Days idea and tried to go expand upon that and do two different things. She's like, I'm going to be a train conductor and have a long train, but it could have been done better. We saw how it could have been done better when we saw Gottmik's Instagram, and unfortunately, we didn't get to see that outfit on the runway. A whole big mess.
And Tina looks like Tommy the Train. I mean, if you can put a little Tommy the Train picture right here, this is Tina right here. Chug-a-lugging.
Shoot, shoot. Like, she might be saying, I think I can, but I think she can't with this look.
I think I
can. And speaking of, I think they can't, I want to see her do so well, but Joey J came out. Was it Kiss inspired? I don't know. She says it was just her trying to show off her wackadoodle craziness, but when she first walked out, I was like, ooh, dominatrix. Like, we've seen enough of this. But I totally thought that was
on, thank God.
Yeah. And then she turns around and I was like, oh no, this isn't dominatrix. She's got a mouth on her back with a tongue rolling out.
With a tongue piercing?
Yeah. And I had to rewatch that a couple times and listen to her talking about it. Like, I didn't get the tongue piercing. I was like, why is there a ball on here? Is she gonna tell a fortune? Is that a crystal ball? I didn't get it. Didn't read tongue piercing right away.
I don't know.
It was different. I feel like overall it was complicated. There was a lot going on, and it didn't really come together. I'll give her this much. It was really long. She had it trained for days.
And speaking of not trained for days, let's talk about the little like red dress little cutie girl that came out. What's her name? Candy Muse. Oh, I don't think she got the freaking memo for trained for days.
Yeah, so she's in the workroom. This is like the moment we were talking about where I said that we have a new group of Heathers, and she's saying her outfit's not going to work, so they're trying to piece something together. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Sisterhood coming together. They helped you add more. Apparently, it wasn't enough.
According to a couple things I've read, like her Trains for Days look took up an entire suitcase, and it just maybe that suitcase got lost or something, but that wasn't even what she was going to wear. The dress was supposed to be her finale gown, and then that red piece they added to the back was from her day night look from episode 1 or episode 2. They just tacked on the back, but part of me is thinking that was going to be what you were wearing for the finale, because it wasn't that great anyhow. And then like tacking on the extra piece didn't work. But it wasn't just the dress that didn't work for me. It wasn't just the undergarments showing that didn't work for me. Her face didn't look done. Like,
and her hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was not styled. She was coming out being like, I am this and I am that and I am that and I'm hitting out of the ballpark and I am this and I am that. She's a lot of talk.
It was by far my least favorite look on the entire runway.
Yeah.
I would say hers was my least favorite, and then probably Gottmik's and a tie between Tina and Joey for the third. I don't know. And then with one more runway.
Don't forget about the last girl.
Uh,
Tanisha Bond, just like the color of my nails. She comes out in this pink little zebra train. Almost looks like a 90. She is beautiful.
Another Tamisha Iman design. She's one of the few designers on this season. She's not just out here being a model, as Evie Oddly says, and she's not a model for other designers. She's wearing her own designs, and they're incredible.
She looked, I mean, the way that she paints, I'm so excited every time that she walks the runway because I know she's going to turn it. And I'm excited. I hope that she makes it all the way.
All right, so we've got all the runways, and then they show the clips from each little movie. But let's talk about it all overall as a package. Like the first one was Misery Loves Company, the Valentine's Day RuPaul channel special. In this one we had Kimora Hall, Elliot with 2 T's, Denali, and Olivia Lux. I thought it was good. They seem to work really well together. Denali, another trend we're starting to see is Denali wants to be the boss, just like in choreography.
Denali likes to be the boss. She definitely stepped right up and said, I'm going to take this part. I'm going to take the lead role. And hopefully you guys are okay with it. Great. Awesome. I'm stepping up. I'm going to do it. I don't know how I would do with acting. I remember in 4th grade, I was in an acting challenge. I played Lewis and Clark. Something about Napoleon Bonaparte. And I was even sick for my performance day. So I don't even know how I did.
My only time acting, I remember, I think it was in middle school, and we did like who's that person that plays the flute and all the rats follow him out of the town? But I was just one of the rats. All I played was I just followed the flute player, which like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I remember the boy that played that part had a cute butt, and it was really easy to follow him. So it was a really easy role to play because I didn't really have to do anything.
I love the backhand. I love the behind.
But yeah, Denali definitely bit off more than she could chew. I am living for Olivia's boy confessional look. She's so adorable, and she's just the cutest. And when she's like, she wanted to take it on, and I'm like, okay, you do it, but like, it was just too much, and they all saw it, but they were like, you go for it. We'll sit here and do these easier parts. And then Elliot was like, I'll just play the idiot because I'm dumb, which
fit her well.
It fit her well. She did really good.
Did an amazing job. And honestly, when Candy was in the end in Untucked, she was talking about how she thought that Elliot should have been in the bottom. I actually don't think that Elliot should have been in the bottom because her runway look was all right with the train, way better than Candy Muse's. And Elliot did a great job from the Ditzy Cupid. It was kind of okay.
Yeah, honestly, like out of this whole play, the only one to me that really stood out bad was Kimora.
I was rooting for us.
For us. Part of me was like, is Ross just maybe Ross isn't a great director, because I get it, she was struggling, but if it was taking her 76 times and she still wasn't getting it, maybe Ross also should have changed the way he was saying it. I don't know. I'm not going to place the blame anywhere because I think there was more than just that, but I was like, why do they just keep letting her do it over and over again if she's not getting it? But yeah, to me, she was the only one that stood out as bad. Denali wasn't strong, but I also don't think she was that bad.
No.
I liked this whole skit in general, and even Kimora, her part was so small that like, if they were being graded as a group, I think this group should have just been safe. Like
Yeah.
they overall they did collectively good. We get a little surprise when we're watching it on the main stage. There's an extra special guest in each one of these. The beautiful, the stunning Jeffrey Boyer Chapman.
Chapman, he's my prince.
He's
He's
so
gonna
beautiful.
fulfill his little redemption.
Yeah, he's trying to win back the RuPaul crowd. Honestly, like I never stopped loving him. He wasn't the best judge, but I didn't care. Like I still love him.
I agree. I just watched All Stars. What is it? 5 with Shea Coulee, and they were doing the Snatch Game of Love, and him and Rue always have these little like really passionate like I'm gonna come up and kiss you moments. Oh, just so funny to watch.
I want to have some passionate kissing moments with him. So the next one was God Loves Flags.
God loves flags.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, I enjoyed this skit. The star, though, Simone is going to go far in life, whatever happens with RuPaul's Drag Race. She has my favorite line, and I keep saying it all the time. Flag victory. Flag victory. And every time she said that, like all of the rest of her words were different accents, but every time she said the flag victory, the flag victory, oh my God, you could always hear RuPaul laughing too. She demolished this.
Overall, I think this God Loves Flags was, if they were based on the group as a group challenge, this would have been the winning group. This was the best overall. We have Simone killing it, Rosé standing out doing great, and who was the third one?
It was Utica.
Utica.
Lala did not do well.
Yeah, Lala didn't do well, but
Utica forgot her lines. Don't that.
Well, I mean, forgetting your lines doesn't matter because all they care about is what they see on the runway because the other judges don't even know how they did in the workroom.
That's true. Because when you show the performance,
yeah,
Lala actually did all right. She didn't seem as bad like in rehearsal. And Utica did the same thing. It looked like she remembered her lines, not like she was forgetting in rehearsal.
Utica was hilarious. She didn't, like, compared to Simone and Rosé, she didn't stand out as much, but her part was good. It was funny. It added to the overall, like, it made me love the whole overall package. And Lala was just fine, but she was very flat. Like,
and I have notes here. Here we go. Lala Ree doesn't do a good job acting. She's acts like a normal conversation, not like the overdramatic drag acting. Performance is boring.
Yeah, the theme here was to be overdramatic.
Yeah, that was rehearsal though, you know?
Yeah.
And it totally showed that she wasn't even going to do well. But if that's what she does, even though the end product is something different, I mean, maybe
she was the worst one out of the group, but the group was so good, it didn't matter. Like,
wow, Simone carried that. She tore down the flag factory and built up a wall factory where a wall factory ought to be. So April Fool's Day is last. This big old 5-group, huge group. What did you think of April Fool's Day?
It was terrible. I hated this one. It was hard to watch. I feel like a lot of times they save the best for last. That was not the case this time. I feel like Tina, they kept saying that she was doing good in the rehearsals, and they kept, but she was overacting. But I was like, I just didn't care about her character. Gottmik just seemed like she was yelling more than actually like acting. Joey J couldn't find the camera. He wasn't connecting with anyone.
And then Tamisha, don't get me started with Zoltan. Oh my gosh.
I honestly think Tamisha was the best part of this train wreck, but that's not saying a lot. Just
no, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman in the Prince outfit was the best part.
That's true.
Now.
I mean, but he doesn't get a chance to win this runway. I was also confused. Like once again, there. This goes to Candy being. They didn't like her runway, but they talked about how much they liked her acting. She did make me laugh, but I didn't get what her character was doing. It just
right.
It was like, am I laughing at her or am I laughing with her? Like
right, and that's something I wrote down here is that there's got to be a difference between Candy and her acting.
I honestly thought like everybody from this group should have been the bottom. I was surprised that they split it up the way they did. Like the April Fools to me was this isn't any good.
Like the leftovers.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry to say, girl. The leftovers. The shady group.
So that was it. That was this week. We already have talked a little bit about who was in the top and who's in the bottom, but who would have your tops and bottoms been?
Okay, my top. I'm gonna pick a top 3. Simone, definitely top 1. She's gonna be a killer this season. I can't wait to see what she does. She's gonna kill it. She's gonna tear down the flag factory. Another top for me this week, Rosé. She did okay with the acting. She's an actor. She's from New York. She's gonna kill it with the acting, and I'm excited to see. She's a singer. She can kill it with the fashion. She was this week not strong. Yes, not strong. But that's okay. We can walk past that. Another one of my tops that I wish were actually in the tops was Utica. Utica, I think, killed it with the acting, killed it in the performance, killed it with that moment in the workroom with RuPaul. Really did great on the runway. She should have been in the top. Those are my top 3.
I mean, we pretty much have the same thoughts. For sure, Simone. I also thought Utica should have been in the top. But honestly, like, I probably would have put Olivia up there. I thought Olivia did really well in her episode. I feel like she was the standout in her performance or in her group. So Simone the standout in her group, Olivia the standout in her group, and then the standout from the group would have been Tamisha. So I would have been happy to see Simone, Olivia, and Tamisha, or Simone, Olivia, and Utica, because the second group was so great. They deserved to have 2 standouts. I did think Rosé did good, but I really hated her runway, and I probably wouldn't have picked her in my top 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we got the tops. Now show me your precious bottom.
Oh, precious, precious bottom. The most precious of them all, Kamora, definitely would have been in the bottom. Her acting it wasn't even that it was bad, it was just so small. When you take a small role like that, you really have to stand out.
I'm rooting for us.
If you're gonna have that small of screen time, you got to make it as big as possible, and she just didn't try. Her runway was amazing, but I don't think the runway is weighted heavy enough. I kept going back and forth on whether I would pick Joey or Gottmik to be in the bottom. Like, Gottmik's runway was terrible. Joey's runway was pretty bad. Joey's acting was terrible. Gottmik's acting was okay. But then I honestly think I would have had Candy in the bottom. Her runway to me was terrible. I actually thought all the way up until the very end of them judging that Candy was in the bottom. I was so confused when they were judging, because like even some of their critiques were bad. And so I was like, I think she's part of the bottom 3. But then when they came back in, I was like, wait, she was the top three? I was mind blown.
Yeah.
But I would have had her in the bottom. I also kind of think maybe I would have put Lala in the bottom because um, she had a great runway, but her acting was just flat. Um, but she would be like my alternate. Like I could see her being safe, but
Fifth alternate.
yeah.
She was pulling a little Alyssa Edwards. My top three bottom. My top bottoms. My
America's
top
Next
three
Top Bottom.
I would say Kimora, even though she killed it with the runway, with the three-headed dragon. Two, she did not do well with the performance. We were rooting for us. I could say that over and over again. Oh my God. She got it one time, though, out of the 78 other times. But
Barely.
her, barely. Um, I would also say Candy Muse would be in the bottom for me. The hair did not go well. The makeup did not go well. The outfit did not go well. The performance, it was all right. I couldn't understand her. She was muffling. I can't. I mean, she's not. She just doesn't act well behind the scenes as well. I don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. She's the bottom for me. That's the second one. Third one, I would definitely say Lala Ree. She kills it on the runway, and just like Ross says, she doesn't want to be faded, and I definitely agree. She needs to step it up in the performance, but she does a great job on the runway. She looks beautiful, but she needs to find something within her deep down, and I know someone can help her find her.
Yeah, I was confused by why the judges put Denali in the bottom. I was thinking maybe RuPaul just didn't like the fact that Denali wasn't getting the gay culture references that she needed to get. Like RuPaul is a big fan of like old TV, so maybe she was just like bitter that Denali was missing something. I don't know. Like her acting was just
In the bottom.
yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. Maybe it was just because she did so well in that last lip sync. They wanted to see her lip sync again.
Oh my God. And let me tell you, this lip sync was I could watch this over and over and over again. And she had all the girls in the back dancing as well. I mean, it was just like RuPaul said, it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it did not take long for RuPaul to say, "You're safe, Shantae."
I don't think I've ever heard RuPaul talk so much. Like she usually just like Shantae, someone stays, or Shantae, you both stay, or something. But like she talked for a while after it was done, like 100% pure fun. I just really enjoyed watching you. All the other girls better watch out because you're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
It was great. It was also just a good solid lip sync because Kimora didn't do terrible. She was just standing there, but she was standing there giving it her all.
And to me, she did a great job. There is something about somebody looking sickening in a gown and standing there and giving this like lip sync and really fierce like mama head of the dragon fantasy dynasty moment.
Yeah.
She did something to me. She did all right. She wasn't obviously not as good as Denali. She can't move around. She should have done something with the dress after that point.
She should have pulled a Scarlet Envy and grabbed some scissors out and cut a slit in that dress so she could
I would
move.
not. I wouldn't. That dress,
But it was obvious in her face as the song was going on longer. Like she was doing a good job, but she was watching Denali run circles around her, and like
right.
as the song went on, like you just saw like the despair in her face. Like she was slowly like conceding. A word that we didn't hear much this year in the elections, but she was definitely conceding this race. She kind of just gave up, and by the end, it was apparent like she lost.
Yeah, and Denali won. She stays, and Kimura goes home.
And the winner of this week was Simone. I want to talk for a minute about Lonnie Love. I feel like she didn't really talk much as a guest judge, but one of my favorite moments she had was when she talked about Simone. She's like, Simone is my cousin. She's given me Detroit. Detroit girls are not afraid to take fashion risks.
Yep.
Simone's making this do-rag train a fashion statement, but she's like, I promise you, like, she's like, in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be seeing Rihanna walk the red carpet with this look. Like,
it's absolutely true. I mean, the drag race queens are definitely forerunners in fashion. Sometimes we can be so creative, and that was something we've never seen before. And for somebody to bring something that to the main stage, especially with it being a part of her culture and just embracing it, is so refreshing to see. So refreshing to see.
yeah. Well, that was this week's episode. Now we're down to 12 queens. Next week, we're gonna do this again, and we're bringing in a special guest next week.
Sue from Corporate is going to be joining us next week, so make sure you stay tuned for another episode of The Scandal Sesh.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.